Finally, a Democratic leader is doing the right thing with the local police when ICE comes to town and starts hauling people away. And it's not a governor and it's not a mayor. It's the school superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District, Alberto Carvalho. Carvalho is standing up for the children of his district, their families, and for immigrants. And unlike other Democratic leaders, he's willing to put his money where his mouth is. And why wouldn't he? Carvalho himself was an undocumented immigrant, and he is outraged over what is happening. Listen to him describe the situation, and then we're going to listen to his plan of action.
I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world, regardless of my position today, if today I did not fight for those who find themselves in the same predicament I faced over 40 years ago when I arrived in this country at the age of 17 as an undocumented immigrant. Education made me and saved me. I became a teacher, a principal, a superintendent leading the nation's largest districts, 4 times selected as National Superintendent of the Year. Do not underestimate the power of the immigrant child who may very well become an adult who does well and good by America.
But more important than Carvalho's background and outrage is what he is doing. So far, the mayor of Los Angeles is not doing anything to control the LAPD. The people of LA are protesting against ICE and have pushed back against ICE. Not only has the mayor allowed the police to be on the side of ICE, she has allowed them to run amok and attack protesters and journalists. Has she gone on TV and asked protesters to protest nonviolently? Has she reached out to church leaders, peace organizations, veterans groups, and asked them to lead? Has she threatened the police the way she has threatened protesters that they will be prosecuted for illegal behavior? Instead, she's kind of talking out of both sides of her mouth. She issued this Know Your Rights fact sheet to the citizens of LA, but then does not stand behind it. ICE was grabbing people off the streets without warrants and without identification. And we all know why these ICE goons are covering their faces and not showing ID. It's because they are contractors, not federal agents. So with no ID and no warrant, they are kidnapping. The police should be mobilized against these kinds of seizures, not against the people who are trying to prevent them. But so far, no mayor and no governor has had the backbone to mobilize the police in this manner. Instead, they have allowed them to join in on the side of ICE, subject protesters to violence, and even shoot at and detain journalists. Turning out the police in riot gear is a failure of leadership. The police could have been deployed differently, but mayors and governors are too afraid that they are actually not in control of their own police force. Well, Alberto Carvalho is not afraid. He is using the school police to protect the children inside his schools. The police will now ensure that ICE cannot enter an LAUSD school without a judge-issued warrant for a specific person. Listen.
Who in their right mind would accept that reality? So I want to be reassuring to our community. Every single graduation site is a protected site. I have directed our own police force to redouble their efforts and establish perimeters of safety around graduation sites to intervene and interfere with any federal agency who may want to take action during these joyous times that we call graduation. Not on our watch.
Now, this comes on the heels of ICE already entering schools, but you can't blame Carvalho for not moving fast enough. This strategy should have been deployed long ago by mayors and governors alike. Even blustering Tom Homan, who dramatically warns against interference and impeding every time he spots a camera, still puts in his disclaimers, like he did when he had to back down about his threats to Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom. The fact of the matter is that if ICE does not have a judge-issued warrant, and if they cannot produce ID, then local police are, by definition, not impeding, they're investigating. Masked guys grabbing people forcefully should not be assisted by the police, they should be questioned by the police. If you want to get people to stop protesting, put the police on their side. Use the police to protect them against federal overreach. Then, when the federal forces mass in your city, crowds would be much more willing to let the police form a protective barrier, especially if they were not in riot gear and they turned around and faced the other way. Alberto Carvalho has gotten the ball running in the right direction. It's up to other Democratic leaders to pick up the ball and run with it. Reporting from Rome, I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupied Democrats.